you want to kick things off?
No, go ahead.
Y'all got a big gift last week. What was A, your reaction to that, and B, what impact do you think that could have on your program?
I think it's huge. Obviously, I put a video out thanking Alexis just for his generosity and just his belief in what we're trying to do here, and his belief in his place, obviously. But it's going to be huge. I mean, obviously, I already talked about, just helping us recruit at an elite level, be able to retain players, just closing that gap financially. I think it's important. It's the next step for this program. It's not the only thing that we need to continue to work on, but that helps us. It's going to help us reach new heights, and I think even just his belief in us is going to help other alums, possibly other donors, want to contribute as well.
And just going off of that, we've seen over the years just women's sports growing in general. So why do you think it's important for people to continue to invest in women's sports, but also just watch the games, show up to the games, and follow along through everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've seen it grow across the nation, on the backs of, certain players, Caitlin Clark's, Andrew Reese, those kind of players. But we have some great players here, too, and other places do, and I think that's why you're seeing more interest in women's sports in general, but women's basketball. And we're more visible now. I think in the last few years especially, you see professional athletes, NBA players, and they're tweeting about different collegiate women's basketball players, things like that. It brings more notoriety to those players and to their teams and to the game in general. More coverage, media-wise. So I think, the product has always been there. It's always been a great game, exciting, fundamentally sound, things like that. But now that we're more visible, we're just seeing more interest.
Things are changing really quickly in college athletics. Is NIL a bigger factor now than when you took the job here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, NIL is still fairly new. But, yeah, I mean, I think every year it becomes a bigger factor. I think it's a great benefit for our student athletes. I think, in the first years, I guess, of NIL, it was kind of abused, I think, and there's so much gray area. There was so much gray area, and for people like that operate and do things the right way, I think you could get lost in the shuffle. But I think with the new rules and I just being more allowing us to be more hands-on with it has opened some doors for our student athletes. I think that it is just the new climate at the end of the day. I think. In order to keep up with the times, recruiting-wise, but then also just allow our student athletes to benefit from their hard work and get what they deserve. It's something that you have to really invest into.
Coach, it's been more than a week since your last game. How did you approach this longer break that you had, and how have you seen the team respond?
Yeah, I think we responded pretty well. We've had some time, obviously, to get mentally and physically recovered, work on some individual skills with some individual workouts, but then also practice and get better as a team. And I think, we have like a renewed energy about us, a renewed focus, understanding that, our goals are still in reach, but we have to make some changes and get back on track. So I liked our focus this week in practice. I think, the heavy mental course load of school is starting to subside a little bit, and we're getting into break where players can just really focus on basketball and focus on, getting extra shots and things like that. So I like where we are.
Taylor Lauterbach has played an increased role for you. Obviously, some injuries in the front court have forced that a little bit, but it seems like she's also taken some steps in her development. What have you seen from her from last season to this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's grown tremendously, just with her confidence, for one, and some accountability things, but then also being a leader. She was voted as one of our captains by her teammates, so I think, people respect her in that regard, but then also her skill set. I mean, she's a kind of kid that's going to be in the gym. She's going to work. She wants to get better. She's been dealing with a little bit of, injuries that was just kind of a degenerative thing over the last, probably 4 or 5 years. And so she's just kind of managing some pain. But other than that, I think she's committed and just trying to get better each day. But I'm proud of her and her progress. I think she's come leaps and bounds since last year, and it's a testament to her hard work.
You mentioned leadership there. How big of a factor is that when you're trying to kind of turn things around a little bit when you hit a rough patch? Obviously, the coaching staff is going to have a huge hand in, okay, what needs to be changed? What do we have to work on? But do players, like Mo, for example, have ideas, and how much of that is like a two-way street with you guys trying to figure things out?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say the ideas piece. I mean, they have ideas, of course, but I think it's just more of demanding more from themselves and their teammates, and just holding people accountable, raising the bar a little bit, not being like okay with complacency or just mediocrity. So I think that's what I've seen the most, and just nipping the little things in the bud in practice where we're like, we might be talking about turnovers for one that's been plaguing us all season. Now you see players like Mo, Paris, some of them that are just really getting on their teammates and getting on themselves too, just to be accountable for that. We need to get our turnovers down. We can't be averaging, what we're averaging in the turnover category and win games. So I think it's just more of defending the standards and just raising the bar.
Latasha has had 2 significant injuries in the past 4 years, which had obviously set back her development. Is she close at all to reaching her potential as a player?
Yeah, I think she's averaging almost,
Right.
the double-double at this point. I think she had 23 and 9 or something last game, and she's becoming more confident, more consistent. Now, even though she's doing that, she still hasn't, completely tapped into her potential, and I think, she's starting to realize how good she can really be, and just her confidence is growing. So I think she's starting to get there for sure. She's being more consistent. I think she's producing more than she probably ever has. But in my eyes, I just know, the ceiling is even higher, But I think she's doing a great job, and I just love to see her become, just kind of walk into her purpose and become more confident, and then also start to embrace a little bit of leadership as well, and demanding more from her teammates. So I think she's in a great place. Just need her to be consistent, stay focused, and I think you're going to continue to see her grow.
She said, I talked to her the other day, she said that she remembers you and Coach Bond evaluating her when she was, I guess, a high school or AAU player up in Toronto. What do you remember about kind of your first impression to her, and did you try to recruit her for Missouri State, or?
No, I didn't
Did
try
you
to
shade?
recruit her at Missouri State. I knew she probably wouldn't come there, but we recruited her, I think, when she was in 6th, 7th grade, something like that at Michigan State. And I remember seeing her dunk. I thought that was crazy at her age. But she was just, at that point, she was raw, but you knew that she was going to be a player. She was playing above the rim, finishing stuff, blocking people's shots. We knew that she was going to be a pretty special talent.
What is how good is the caliber of basketball in girls basketball in Toronto, at least at the level that she played at, higher level?
Yeah, I think like anywhere it goes up and down, but there's been so many great players that come out of there. So I think over the years I've tried to recruit a lot of players there, and I think, Tasha's just one of them. But you see them, there's been some in the ACC, there's been some all over in the Power 5 conferences. So there's a lot of talent in Toronto, and some of their powerhouse AAU teams display that as well. So, yeah, that's just an area that we need to continue to tap into.
Last time we spoke with you, you talked about the importance of the break and getting healthy. Where are you guys at heading into this week?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. We're getting there. Some of it is going to be just kind of an evolution of a process, but I like where we are right now. Obviously, we need to bounce back from this little skid we were on, and this week was about getting refocused, believing in each other, getting closer, getting back in the gym, working on us, things like that, and I think that we've accomplished that.
And then what are you kind of hoping to see heading into these final 2 non-conference games?
Competitiveness. I want us to compete. I want us to defend our home court. I want us to get back to the things that were helping us be successful early and then continue to grow. I think, like turnovers got to come down. I think we got to get back to playing with pace. I think we need to defend at more of an elite level, and rebounding. Rebounding is a staple for us, and I don't think we've really displayed that as of late. So I just want to see us tap into who we are and get back on track.
Last call for questions. All right.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.